In 2009, something a little different showed up in everyday pocket change. The United States released 4 special pennies to mark the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, each one showing a different stage of his life. Most people spent them without stopping to look, but these coins quietly tell a full story, from Lincoln's earliest days to his years as president. As we go through each design, you'll see how history, condition, and rare features can make even a simple penny worth a closer look. So, let's get started. First up, we're looking at a coin many people have seen but few have truly studied. It's the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial cent with the professional life reverse. At first glance, this penny looks simple and well-worn, the kind of coin you might find in your pocket change or an old jar at home. But behind this familiar copper-colored coin is a rich story about Abraham Lincoln, American history, and a few rare examples that have surprised collectors with how valuable they can be. This coin was released in 2009 as part of a special program honoring the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. That year, the United States Mint introduced 4 different reverse designs, each showing a different stage of Lincoln's life. The professional life design was the third coin in the series. It focuses on the years Lincoln spent as a lawyer and lawmaker in Illinois, long before he became president. This design reminds us that Lincoln was once an ordinary working man, building his career step by step. The year 2009 was a difficult time for the United States. The country was recovering from a major financial crisis, unemployment was high, and many people were struggling to get by. Coin production continued, but public interest in saving pennies was low. Most of these coins went straight into circulation and were used daily. Very few people set them aside carefully, especially in the condition they were found in pocket change. On the front of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln that has appeared on the penny for generations. The date 2009 is shown clearly, along with the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." On the back, the professional life design shows a young Lincoln standing confidently in front of the Illinois state capitol. He holds papers in his hand, representing his work as a lawyer. The building behind him symbolizes his early political career. It's a thoughtful and detailed design, but one that can lose its sharpness quickly when the coin is circulated. Most examples of this coin, like the one described here, show clear signs of use. The surfaces may appear dull, with dark spots or uneven color. Fine details in Lincoln's clothing or the Capitol building may look worn down. This kind of wear is normal and expected. Coins in this average circulated condition are very common and usually worth only face value. Millions were made, and millions were spent. So why do collectors care about this coin at all? The answer lies in the exceptions. While most 2009 professional life cents are ordinary, a small number stand out due to unusual features or minting mistakes. Because the mint was producing large quantities of coins during a challenging economic period, errors did occur. Some coins were struck off-center. Others showed doubled letters or numbers. A few were struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. These mistakes were not meant to leave the mint, but a handful did. Collectors value these error coins because they are rare and tell a story about how coins are made. A clear double die example or a dramatic off-center strike can turn a simple penny into a highly desirable collectible. Even though the base coin is common, the error makes it special. Condition can also play a role, though it's far less common for this coin. A very small number of 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial cents survived in exceptionally high condition. These coins avoided circulation and retained bright surfaces, sharp details, and strong eye appeal. Finding one like this is extremely difficult, especially for the professional life design, which often shows weak details due to the fine lines in the artwork. Auction results show how strong demand can become for the rarest examples. While circulated coins bring only a small amount, major error coins have sold for $27,000 or more when the mistake is bold and clearly visible. These sales happen because collectors compete fiercely for pieces that rarely appear on the market. Even more surprising are the prices paid for top-condition survivors. A nearly flawless example of the professional life cent, certified at the highest levels, has reached over $50,000 at auction. That price reflects extreme rarity, not the metal itself. Collectors understand how unlikely it is for a penny from 2009 to survive without marks, wear, or discoloration. Experts believe that if a completely perfect example were ever discovered and certified, the value could rise beyond $95,000. Such a coin would be considered one of the finest modern Lincoln cents ever found. Many believe one could still exist, tucked away in an old roll, a forgotten collection, or a box saved during the bicentennial year. Next up is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Birth and Early Childhood in Kentucky cent, the very first coin released in the 4-part series honoring the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This penny is often called the birthplace cent or the log cabin penny, and it's one that many people have handled without giving it much thought. The example shown here appears to be a circulated coin, showing signs of everyday use, yet it still carries a powerful story tied to one of America's most respected leaders. This special cent was issued in 2009, a year set aside to remember Lincoln's beginnings. Born in Kentucky in 1809, Lincoln grew up in modest surroundings, and the log cabin shown on this coin reflects those early years. The United States Mint chose 4 designs to tell Lincoln's life story, and this first design focuses on where it all started. It reminds collectors that Lincoln's rise began far from wealth or influence. The year 2009 was also a challenging time for the nation. The country was working through a major economic slowdown, and many people were focused on daily needs rather than saving coins. Pennies were heavily used, often overlooked, and rarely set aside in perfect condition. Because of this, most bicentennial cents went straight into circulation and quickly picked up wear. The front of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln that Americans have known for generations. The date 2009 marks the bicentennial year, and there is no mint mark present. Coins without a mint mark from this period were widely distributed and commonly used, which explains why circulated examples like this one are so easy to find today. On the reverse, the log cabin design stands out for its simplicity. The small cabin represents the home where Lincoln was born and spent his early childhood. When newly struck, the lines of the cabin were sharp and clear. On circulated coins, however, those details often appear soft. The surfaces may look dull, and the original shine is usually gone. This particular coin shows normal signs of circulation. Light scratches, small nicks, and darkened areas are common on pennies that have passed through many hands. The lack of original luster tells us the coin has been used in everyday commerce. Coins in this average condition are very common and typically worth only their face value. Millions of these cents were made, which is why most examples are not rare. The bicentennial program produced large numbers to meet public demand. As a result, the average coin from this series is easy to find and holds little monetary value. What makes some examples special, however, are the rare exceptions. Because production was fast and equipment was heavily used, a small number of coins left the mint with noticeable errors. Some were struck off-center. Others showed doubled lettering or design elements. A few were struck on the wrong metal planchet. These errors were never meant to reach circulation, but when they did, they became instant collectibles. Collectors value these error coins because they offer a glimpse into the minting process. A strong error from this design can sell for $30,000 or more, depending on how clear and dramatic the mistake appears. These coins are rare, and competition among collectors can be intense. Condition also plays an important role for the finest survivors. While most coins were circulated, a tiny number avoided wear entirely. High-grade examples with sharp detail, clean surfaces, and strong eye appeal have sold for over $55,000 at auction. These prices reflect how difficult it is to find a penny from 2009 that looks untouched. Experts believe that if a completely flawless example were ever discovered and certified, it could reach $98,000 or more. A perfect coin from a year when pennies were rarely saved would be considered a modern rarity. Many collectors believe one may still be hiding in a sealed roll or an old collection. This coin also carries an important message. It reminds collectors that value does not always come from age or precious metal. History, rarity, and condition matter just as much. Even a worn penny can become valuable if it has the right feature. The lesson here is simple. Never ignore a coin just because it looks ordinary or well used. Taking a closer look can sometimes lead to surprising discoveries. A valuable Lincoln Bicentennial cent could still be sitting in a coin jar, a drawer, or an old box of change, waiting to be noticed. For collectors, that possibility keeps the search alive and makes every coin worth examining. Next up is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial cent featuring the Formative Years reverse design. This coin shows Abraham Lincoln as a young man, pausing from physical labor to read a book, a moment that reflects his hunger for knowledge and self-improvement. The example described here appears to be in excellent condition, with strong shine and sharp details, and it shows no visible mint mark, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While many collectors saved these coins when they were released, this design still tells an important story and has a collecting side that often surprises people. This coin was issued in 2009 as part of a special 4-design series celebrating the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Each design focused on a different stage of his life. The Formative Years cent highlights Lincoln's youth, a time when he worked hard, educated himself, and developed the ideas that would later shape his leadership. This design was not about power or office, but about growth and determination, which is why many collectors feel a strong connection to it. The year 2009 was a time when many Americans were thinking carefully about money and the future. The country was still feeling the effects of a major economic slowdown. Because of that, coins were handled heavily in everyday use, but at the same time, the Lincoln Bicentennial program caught the public's attention. Many people set aside rolls or folders of the new designs, hoping they might one day be worth more. This mix of circulation and saving created an interesting balance for collectors. On the front of the coin, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears, a design that has been used on the cent for over 100 years. The date 2009 stands out clearly, marking the bicentennial year. The lack of a visible mint mark tells us the coin was made in Philadelphia, where the majority of these cents were produced for circulation. The reverse design is what makes this coin special. It shows a young Lincoln seated on a log, holding a book, with an axe resting nearby. This image represents his early life, where physical work and learning went hand in hand. When struck well, the details in Lincoln's clothing, the book, and the logs are crisp and easy to see. On uncirculated examples like this one, the surfaces still shine with original luster, giving the design a fresh and balanced look. Because many people saved these coins right away, finding an uncirculated Formative Years cent is not difficult. Millions were produced, and a large number survived in rolls, albums, and mint packaging. This means that most examples, even in bright condition, are worth only a small premium over face value. High grade alone does not make this coin rare. What separates ordinary examples from truly collectible ones is the presence of unusual features. During large production runs, small mistakes sometimes happen. Some Formative Years cents show doubled letters in the date or inscriptions. Others were struck slightly off-center, or on planchets that were not intended for cents. These errors are much less common and are where collector interest becomes serious. Coins with strong and easy-to-see errors have performed well at auction. Clear double-die examples or dramatic off-center strikes from this design have sold in the $15,000 to $25,000 range, depending on how bold the error appears and how well the coin has been preserved. These values are driven by scarcity and collector demand, not by the metal itself. Condition can also play a role at the highest levels, but in a different way than with heavily circulated coins. While many uncirculated examples exist, only a small number meet very strict grading standards. Coins with perfect color, clean fields, and no visible marks under magnification are far rarer than most people expect. One top-graded Formative Years cent, certified with exceptional eye appeal, has sold for over $56,000 at a major auction. That price reflects how few coins truly stand above the rest. Some specialists believe that a flawless example, one with ideal strike, color, and surfaces, could reach $93,700 or more if offered today. Even though many were saved, perfection is extremely hard to achieve. Tiny contact marks or slight weaknesses in the strike often prevent coins from reaching that level. A nearly perfect coin from this series represents the very best of modern cent production. Collectors are drawn to this design for more than just potential value. It captures a quiet and meaningful moment in Lincoln's life, reminding people that education and determination can shape the future. That message adds depth to the coin and keeps interest strong, especially among collectors who enjoy history as much as rarity. There is also an important lesson in this coin. Just because a coin is modern and common does not mean it should be ignored. At the same time, not every shiny coin is valuable. Learning to spot errors, understanding grading, and knowing which details matter most can make all the difference. A special Formative Years cent could still be sitting in a roll from the bank, a collector folder, or a box saved years ago. Taking the time to look closely can be rewarding, both for the history it reveals and the possibility of finding something truly special. Next up is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Center with the Presidency in Washington, D.C. reverse, the fourth and final design released in the Bicentennial series honoring the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin represents the final chapter of Lincoln's life story shown on circulating U.S. cents, focusing on his years as president during one of the most difficult periods in American history. The example described here appears to be an uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, showing strong detail with only light surface marks, which is not unusual since many people saved these coins when they were first released. This final design was issued late in 2009, closing out a 4-coin program that traced Lincoln's journey from a log cabin in Kentucky to the White House in Washington, D.C. By the time this coin was released, the public was already familiar with the series, and many collectors made an effort to save clean examples. As a result, higher quality coins are more common for this design than for the earlier releases, especially when compared to coins that saw heavy circulation. The historical setting behind this coin is powerful. Lincoln's presidency took place during the Civil War, a time when the nation was divided and its future uncertain. The Capitol building shown on the reverse is pictured as it appeared during Lincoln's time in office, still under construction. That unfinished building was a symbol of a country still being formed, even as it faced its greatest challenge. Including this image on the final bicentennial cent was a deliberate choice, reminding Americans that the nation continued to grow even in times of crisis. The year 2009 itself was also a period of rebuilding. The United States was recovering from a major economic downturn, and confidence was slowly returning. Coin production continued as usual, but interest in special designs was high. Unlike many earlier pennies, these Lincoln Bicentennial cents were often noticed, discussed, and saved. That behavior had a direct impact on how many high-quality examples exist today. The front of the coin features the familiar Lincoln portrait that has appeared on the cent since 1909. The date 2009 is clearly shown, marking the bicentennial year. As with other cents from this period, there is no mint mark visible on many examples, which means they were intended for wide circulation rather than limited collector-only releases. The reverse design is detailed and symbolic. It shows the U.S. Capitol dome under construction, with scaffolding visible. The words United States of America appear along the top, while 1 cent and E pluribus unum are placed below. Near the wording is the small SG initial, identifying Susan Gamble as the designer. When struck well, the lines of the building are crisp, and the overall design has strong visual balance. Because many of these coins were saved early, uncirculated and near uncirculated examples are fairly easy to find today. Coins like the one described, with good detail and only minor marks, are common in collections. In most cases, these coins are worth only a small premium over face value unless they show something unusual. This is an important point for collectors to understand. High condition alone does not always mean high value, especially when many similar coins exist. Millions of these cents were produced, and that large mintage keeps most examples affordable. Even bright, well-preserved coins are often found in rolls, folders, or old mint sets. This is very different from earlier pennies that were rarely saved in quantity. As a result, collectors usually look for something extra when assigning serious value to this design. That something extra often comes in the form of minting errors or rare varieties. Because the mint was producing large numbers of coins, small mistakes did occur. Some examples show doubled lettering or design elements. Others were struck slightly off-center. A few were struck on the wrong metal planchet, creating an obvious weight and color difference. These error coins were never meant to reach circulation, and when they do, collectors take strong interest. Major error examples of the Presidency cent have sold for $260,000 or more when the mistake is clear and dramatic. These prices are driven by rarity, not age. Collectors value these pieces because they represent a moment when the minting process went wrong, creating a coin that stands apart from millions of normal examples. Condition can still matter at the very top levels. While many uncirculated coins exist, only a tiny number are certified at the highest grades with exceptional eye appeal. Coins with perfect color, clean surfaces, and razor-sharp details are far scarcer than people expect. One of the finest known examples of the 2009 Presidency cent has sold for over $510,000 at auction. That price reflects how few coins combine top-grade condition with flawless surfaces. Experts believe that if a truly perfect example were ever discovered and certified at the highest possible level, it could exceed $975,000. Even though many were saved, perfection is extremely difficult to achieve. Tiny marks, weak strikes, or slight color changes often prevent coins from reaching that level. A flawless survivor would be considered one of the finest modern Lincoln cents known. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only because it completes the bicentennial series, but because of what it represents. It marks Lincoln's leadership during the nation's most testing time and symbolizes growth, unity, and unfinished work. That meaning adds depth beyond the coin's face value and makes it appealing to history-minded collectors. There is also an important lesson here. A coin does not have to be old to be valuable. Modern coins can bring strong prices when they combine rarity, condition, and historical importance. At the same time, most examples remain common, even in nice shape. Knowing the difference is what separates casual interest from informed collecting. Taking a closer look at coins like this can be rewarding. Even an uncirculated cent may not be valuable unless it has a special feature, while a rare error or top condition example can be worth a fortune. Careful inspection and patience are key. A valuable 2009 Presidency in Washington, D.C. cent could still be sitting in a collection, a roll from the bank, or a folder tucked away years ago. For collectors, that possibility keeps the search interesting and reminds us that every coin has a story worth exploring. These 4 Lincoln Bicentennial pennies are more than just coins. You can think of them as miniature pieces of American history. Each one tells a chapter of Abraham Lincoln's life, from his humble beginnings in a Kentucky log cabin, to his early work and education in Illinois, to the challenges of leadership in Washington, D.C. Even coins that look ordinary in circulation carry stories of dedication, growth, and perseverance. For collectors, these pennies are a reminder that history can hide in plain sight. A coin in a pocket, a jar, or a drawer might seem simple, but sometimes it holds unexpected value, a rare feature, or a tiny error that makes it special. Whether it's a circulated example or a pristine uncirculated coin, each one connects us to the story of one of America's greatest presidents. If you enjoyed exploring these coins, learning their history, and seeing how collectors value them, make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Hit the like button, leave your thoughts or questions in the comments, and most importantly, subscribe to Coins Action. Every week we bring rare US coins, hidden treasures, and the stories behind them straight to you. By subscribing, you join a community of collectors and history lovers who never miss a chance to uncover what might still be sitting unnoticed in everyday change. Your next favorite coin could be waiting just around the corner, and on Coins Action, we'll help you spot it. Stay curious, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next video.